Hello, I'm Layla. When I tell anyone I've lived in a haunted house, the most common thing I would hear is, wow, cool. Well, guys, I am here to tell you why I wouldn't define the whole experience as cool after all. I have a friend, Sarah. We have been together since early childhood. We studied at school together, and after school, we were accepted in the same university. Thing is, the university was in another city, and we had to move there before the term started. We didn't want to go to the dormitory, so we looked for a small apartment for the two of us. There was always something that wasn't okay with the apartments proposed to us, so we were becoming pretty desperate. Then suddenly, we came across a house, a two-story old house nearly in the center of the city, but in a calm district. And what was even more attractive? At literally no price. It should have given us suspicions, but we were light-minded and never bothered. We didn't believe how lucky we were. When we were moving in, we were greeted by nice people, who were our neighbors. Just one of them smiling, looking a bit strange at us, and asked if there were any special reasons why we hadn't chosen that house. We laughed in a silly way and thought he was joking. Now I think we should have asked for explanations, but we couldn't wait to move in and just thanked him for the greetings. The entrance into the house was in a place where it was not visible from the main road. When we come up to the stairs, we see a nice old woman with a paper package in her hands. "Hello, girls. My name is Miss Hopkins. I want to welcome you to our neighborhood. I brought you my famous apple pie for lunch. I guess you are far from your parents and haven't started to cook yet." We thanked her cordially, and as we were opening the door, wanted to invite her for a coffee. But when we turned back to her, she was already gone. Well, we had a lot to do, and thought we would ask for her whereabouts from the neighbors later. So we were independent for the first time in our life. We were ecstatic. The only thing that was irritating us a bit was that we didn't manage to get a good sleep. But we decided it was an effect of the freshman stress. On the bright side, a couple of times a week we found at the doorstep a new package with a pie inside from Miss Hopkins. We never got the possibility to thank her though, as from the very first day we never came across her. We were becoming a bit too busy to think too much about Miss Hopkins, though. Our sleep problems were becoming pretty overwhelming. It was quite often that I woke up in the middle of the night, all covered in cold sweat after a nightmare. Went to the kitchen to get myself a glass of water, and found Sarah there with black circles under her eyes, looking close to tears. Sounds like a stupid problem, but try not to get a good night's sleep for a couple of months, and you wouldn't find it that stupid. What's worse, we thought we were starting to get hallucinations because of sleep deprivation. Sometimes one of us entered into an empty room and felt the scent of someone's perfume. We often felt cold drafts when all the windows were closed. Sarah admitted to having the same problem. It was getting really creepy. Once I was in the bathroom locked inside when I saw the handle slightly move, as if someone wanted to open the bathroom door. I yelled, "Sarah, it's occupied." And she shouted from downstairs, "What are you saying?" I felt goosebumps march across my body. If Sarah was there, who was trying to open the door? It took me half an hour to come out of the bathroom, with pure terror in my eyes. When I reached Sarah in her room and told it to her, she didn't even consider it would be a prank from my side. She also felt something was going on in that house. We decided that it was time to look for a new dwelling because we couldn't sleep there. And a lack of sleep added to our anxiety when we noticed those small things happening inside our house. That night, I had a horrible nightmare. I heard steps in the attic and went there to see who that was. We had a small ladder there. As I climbed the ladder, I saw a figure in the darkness. I switched on the light and saw Mrs. Hopkins, who was holding a pie in her hands, stretching it out to me and smiling weirdly without saying a word. I shouted and woke up all trembling. In that very moment, I heard the steps in the attic. Good Lord. I hid myself under the blanket and didn't take it off till dawn. In the morning, I took Sarah and went to our neighborhood, the one who greeted us with a strange question the first day, to get some answers. As we came to him, I asked him at once, "Where can we meet Miss Hopkins?" He looked at us with a strange expression and answered, "But there is no Miss Hopkins in the neighborhood. Why are you asking?" We were shocked. but we met her the first day we came. You must be mistaken. Miss Hopkins used to live in your house, but she had died several years ago after she had fallen terminally ill. She was famous for her baking, by the way. Absolutely speechless, we came out of his house and walked slowly towards ours. As we came up the stairs, we saw a paper package with another piece of Miss Hopkins' bakery. I was so stunned with horror that I hardly was able to make those couple of steps towards it. Above it, there was a handwritten note that said, "Girls, come to visit me sometime." What we did was, at that point, we rushed into the house, packed our things in pure panic. It took us 3 minutes to pack everything we needed and never to come back anymore. That night, our friends from the dormitory managed to host us. We slept on plain mattresses on the floor, but I remember that night as one of the best in my life, when I finally got to sleep as a baby and didn't see any dreams at all. So guys, when you think that living in a haunted house is cool, I think twice. In real life, it is even more creepy than in horror films. Well, I hope you never find yourself in such a situation, but if you have something similar to share, guys will be happy to receive your story. Maybe it would be even creepier than mine. Tell it in the comments and share your experience with friends.